بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome all of you wherever you are. I welcome you again with your program Fatwa Life that comes to you today, Monday, the end of Shahr Muharram. The first month, the first question, using the Photoshop program software for work. These software, they're not free. The producers, they require fees, but a lot of people, they use it by hacking and without the knowledge of the original owner of the software. Can we use that at work? The answer, the right is protected, and you should not go over it unless you follow the rules and the laws in the country that you're in. I mean that is process. But in the decision for American Muslim jurists, meaning after stressing on the rights of the people, the copyrights, to use it for personal use when you cannot get a copy, the original one, there is nothing wrong with it because you cannot obtain the original copy with the desperate need for it. It's considered one of the public needs, that is the emergency. And due to the decision, you should not uh, touch any of the protected rights unless on the rules that is decided by the developer of the software and the laws that govern this. But if the need is that very desperate and you cannot obtain original copy, and you don't need to make a copy and sell it to make profit out of it, that only for personal use, then I hope there should be a way out for it because of the difficulty of obtaining the original one, and there is a desperate need for it. Second question: working as a doctor in the places where they donate plasma, if they receive money like 300 of the currency to for the time and effort, and the donation places, the medicine it given free to the patients, but we know it is exported in very high prices. Can I verify this before I work there? Originally, that the human parts are not products that you sell and buy. Allah Azza wa Jalla has honored the son of Adam, and He not make his limbs and parts as something that you sell. Those who want to use it in the sake of Allah to help the patients and to save their lives. So I hope there will be in the effort that is done for transportation fees or not going to work and so on and so forth. Not because of the donation itself. It is okay to give the money for the donors as a gift, not as a condition for compensate. If it is new for certain what people are saying in the social media that this is abused and it is exported overseas with very high prices and to become very rich out of it, this will make these centers as criminal entities because to trade in the human part it is against every law in every country. But we don't build things on rumors. You just have to verify, and you cannot just follow the lies and the rumors that is widespread. So if it is proof with certainty, then you avoid it. Otherwise, safety is the best. The second question. My mother, she gave my father a loan, 180,000 of the currency. After 3 years, he returned it back. She did not take the zakah for each those 3 years. Even though my dad, he has the capability to give that money back, but he delayed it for 3 years. So what does my mom do? Does she give all 3 years? And how much is the zakah that she need to give out? In the loans, there's details. If it is something that you are expecting that is going to come back, the people are admitted and they can keep it. Whenever you ask for it, you could get it. Then you need to pay the zakah every year. It's like the trust that you are keeping with these people. But if it is loans that you are not expecting them to come back, when it is not expected, when it is on someone who has hardship, or someone who deny, or someone who delay, on the people who can't or who are delay, we cannot get the money except for the big effort and very hard issues. Then you should not pay the zakah on this and during until you receive it, until you hold it. So once you hold it, you pay the zakah on the future. You start a new year. If you made zakah on the previous year, that'll be better, as one of the scholars said. So, in summary, there's three types of people for this. Someone who is capable, you have to be given the zakah. And the other one who have hardship, then you don't have the zakah until he give it to you. And after a year after receive it, one who delay, you're not gonna get his money except with the hardship. This one you don't use the money that is just like the one that you have, so you don't have to pay zakah until you receive it. Because some of who delay, they are worse than those who are having hardship. And we have to be careful that the person who delay and he is capable of paying is transgression, and it will allow people to talk about his honor and to tell people about him and to there's a punishment for it. The amount is a quarter of tenth after a year. Second question. I'm a partner in a company of a game, tennis game. My partners, they made contract with a bank and they put this advertisement in the playground. What is the do about the money that comes from the promotion or from that bank? And I just should I keep that money away and just take the income from the tennis game? The banks are places of forbidden things. They might allow some of the things, but they are merchants of loans. He takes the money with interest and he gives it to loans with a higher interest, and he makes the money in between the two interests. So my advice to stay away from the income that comes out of these advertisements in particular by taking it to the public areas with the intention to get rid of the profits that are doubtful. And I hope that you'll be getting the reward of staying away from the things that are forbidden or the things that are doubtful, not at the charity, because Allah good do not accept nothing but good. I buy clothes online I pay 22. I take 5% and some coupons for transportation. Is that considered gambling? No. Any area that gives a yearly promotion for those followers, that is compensated by money. So if it is for expenses and following it, and that's the majority, there should be no problem, inshallah. How about investment in the stock market? Is that Allah? The second question about the holding the money in the contract that are rushed. The first one about the stock market, there's a problem with the company that has mixed income. The decision from American Muslim Jewish Assembly is the investment in the stock market, whether it is companies that local or uh, global, or the same company you work at, it is allowed with the following. You stay away from the things that are forbidden, like banks that deal with the usury, or government bonds, or insurance companies, or the or tobacco, or alcohol, or gambling, or nightclubs, or the things that are forbidden from food and so on. Stay away about the the shares. For those who says yes, and this is a majority of scholars, that the origin part of this company is on something that is acceptable, like agriculture, technical, IT, because there's minimum of the things that are forbidden, whether the expenses or the loans or the income or the investment. Also, from the some recommended that the forbidden part should not be more than 5% of the total, and the loans on the company with this interest shouldn't be more than 30%. The income that is forbidden more than 5% of the income, and the investment that has forbidden avenues not more than uh, 80. This is a percentage should go with the minimum, and then after that, how you verify the profits that you receive from this company by getting rid of the forbidden parts. Second question: in dealing with the bank, any money that goes into the bank, that's like holding it, that catching it. You don't have to have it in your own hand. It is in the bank account. It is right. I live in Egypt and I have a wife and 4 kids. I will sell my son's one of the apartments, and he's talking about like way what he's going to share all the income he's gonna get, even though he sell it from his son. But I'm gonna distribute between all my kids evenly. Can I sell it and my son? Can he pay the payment? Because my income, my profit is going to be from that. The answer: you should sell the good to any person you want. How he gets the product is not your problem. I sell halal meat or groceries. I feel that permissible to everybody. How the seller, how he gets his money, that's not my business. Whether he get a loan, he get cash, some money he get in his bank, that's not my issue. every soul is responsible for its actions. They are responsible for their actions, you're responsible for yours. The Prophet ﷺ, he dealt with the Jews in Medina, buying and selling, and he accepted their invitation to eat, and he knew that they take the riba and they take people's rights falsely. Otherwise, there will be no dealing between people. So sell the permissible to whomever you wish. How he bring you the money, that's your business. It is good to invest some of the money, to invest it and to distribute to whomever you wish, how you wish, but you have to be just in the children. Because the hadith, to fear Allah and to be just between the kids. But because your son is the one who's getting it, so you are concerned about him is free from the hellfire, just like you are concerned about yourself, because our sons are our livers walking on earth. So what the bank calls it as fees, it is interest. Because any increase in the loan, it is from the riba. What Allah says, oh you believe, fear Allah and stay away from what's left on riba. If you are believers, if you are not doing it, declare war on Allah and the Messenger. So it's not from the things that are emergency. You cannot change the facts. You cannot change interest with fees. Because you don't want it to be a cover up of permit riba. So maybe you need to direct your son to buy it from an Islamic place. So you put him on something permissible, Allah Alam. A question that is repeated several times, and I do my best. Eat the permissible halal cows, but the chicken I don't eat it. That's what we do. That we about the Photoshop, there's other replacement for all these softwares. It's called open source, and gives everything these open shop. So it's still permissible. Seems like you didn't hear the fatwa. I did not permitted. I said if there is a desperate need, meaning there is no other way, no replacement, there is no alternatives. If there is alternatives and what is paid within your capability or that are free, beside the ones that are copyright protected, then you should go with the alternatives, whether it's called open source or whatever, and do not do piracy. But it allows as an exception against the origins, whomever is desperate need for it, he have no alternative, and he cannot have the original copy. He didn't intend to make different sources so he could hit the company that is producing this. No, it's within the restrictions, as I said earlier. I missed a rak'ah, but the imam forgot and he added a rak'ah. Do I stay with him or do I make that rak'ah? This is something disputed. That it could be done both ways.
to guard yourself to make up the rak'ah because that extra one for the imam is not considered part of the prayer.
But let me think it, and then I'll maybe look into answer for it. What about the doctor in the West? He's asking how many you have sex with your wife and the oral sex to make sure there's no sexual disease and routine check. Well, the sexual partnership between the man and his wife is very important, the privacy. But when you are dealing with a doctor and they need you to give you give them the advice, the information, so it should be okay, inshallah. But the privacy should be protected, and there's a need.
Can you dry the private part and the one part and then go to another one when you are making wudu? Why you brushing yourself? Take dry after you finish. In the blood that comes during clean your teeth, do you have to repeat the wudu? No. This is from the manner that is forgiven. What about the swearing, feeding 10, and how much is the money? The question, what is the kafara of the swearing? The kafara, as Allah said in the Quran, is to feed 10 of the needy from the middle of what you feed your family, or to give clothes, or to free a slave, or to fast 3 days. If that's the kafara. From the common mistakes, that you start with the fasting. No, you start with the feeding. And the fasting only when you cannot, incapable of feeding or give them clothes. Look at the average price and the but it's different from one place to another, to one person to another, and their capabilities. And when you try to get rid of something and to free yourself in front of Allah, do not rely on and don't be stingy. And whether Allah protect from the misery of himself, Allah will protect him. It's the arrogance that should not enter paradise. It is with with earth, or is that the arrogance? Well, my master in use and the master of everybody, when he was asked about the arrogance, he said, is to you see the truth and you take it and to put people down. It's the fear of not being just with the wives or kids. That should be a reason not to get married twice. No one is afraid for himself this sin. And he is afraid that he will slow it down.
But if you know that you cannot be just if you marry of another woman, that you're gonna do her wrong or do the first one wrong, he should not. He should ask himself several times, so he will not stand and he have a problem.
Paying money for the people who can explain the dreams. Yeah, that's a science. It's not seeing the unseen. No, there's this is a science. Ibn Sinin was known scholar. He was among those. But to take money for that and make it a career, I think I need to take some time to research it. We come to the conclusion of the first part today. Inshallah, I'll continue in a couple of hours. Please join us in a couple of hours for the next part of the Fatwa life until we meet. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.